You're born in Madrid.
Exactly.
Was that a conscious choice to place yourself outside of the capital city?
Yeah. Well, actually, it was even worse than that because I left Madrid and I went to Italy for 7 years.
To Benetton?
I worked in this research center called Fabrica, which was actually sponsored by Benetton, but it was not Benetton. To be correct on that. So I was 7 years there, and then I went to Barcelona. Then I went to London, and then from London I moved to Valencia because I was tired of the rain. So I needed sun and Mediterranean and
To be happy.
And Valencia is a little bit like Napoli, you know? It's like a little bit crazy. It's not so perfectly organized, and I love the disorder to get into concepts and ideas. You know, it's quite nice, and it's vibrating. You know, it's not. There's always something happening.
Yeah.
You know.
The fact that you picked the second largest city and not the capital, is that?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe that illustrates what I think I see in your work, that you really try to place yourself on the outside looking in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's so important because, like, Valencia is like the third city of Spain, to be correct, and it's Barcelona before. But then I don't even live in Valencia itself. I live in a village, glued to Valencia. So I live in between oranges, and nobody knows about trendiness. I mean, I'm the coolest guy in the village, man. But definitely. And I go to the bar in the morning, which is like super cheap, and I get tomatoes and olive oil, and I start to sketch, and sometimes they call me and I start being, you know, they thought I was a foreigner because they're going like, man, he's like, he doesn't, you know, they start to speak Spanish behind me because like, oh, he's like a foreigner. He bought a house. And I'm like, and then I start speaking to them, and they're all freaking out. Like, you know.
You make it sound also haphazard. You know, you make it sound as if it's I go down to the bar in the morning.
But it is like
tomatoes
that.
and olive oil.
It
And
is
start
like that.
sketching, and,
I mean,
and now you're here.
Yeah, well, this is exactly my
yeah.
life. You know, tomorrow I'll be again in the bar and again in the countryside, and I don't, you know, you can sleep. You know, you can talk to the donkey. There's nobody with like, nobody has a hay chair or like, you know, they don't even know what fruit salad is. Like, they don't. Nobody knows. That's too intellectual. Where are you going? You know? Yeah, but absolutely. That's crazy. I try to explain to these people what I do. It's impossible. I live in a village.
Yeah.
You know, in a small village, and the people are. Sometimes they're knocking on the door and they're asking me if I want to go to the parade. You know, to take the Christ out of the church, and I'm like, no, I'm right. You know, this kind of stuff. Because really seriously, like, tong, 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 tong. You open the door. Hi, do you want to come? No, we have the cars and things. We're going to the church. You coming? No.
Then please explain to us, why do you choose to live there, so far from the trends,
The action.
the marketing surveys, the whole big business of furniture design and
better.
architecture? Is that the reason you want to just stay
Well,
away?
I have a big house. I eat really well, healthy. I buy the tomatoes from the people that make the tomatoes there. So
And the olive oil.
and the olive oil and the wine and everything. They have a little stall market from everyone that has things, because we live in between vegetables and oranges and all kinds of stuff. But it's really interesting because, of course, I travel and I see a lot of things, and then I digest these things when I'm home.
You must have a punishing traveling schedule, don't you? You must be out
I
traveling.
travel about maximum 10 days a month, maximum. But I really enjoy, the sort of natural way of living. You know what I mean? Like it's a good contrast. What happened to me when I lived in London is like I thought the trip never ends. And I went to Tokyo, I come back to London, it's still active and very hectic. Yeah, you come from Stockholm, you go to London again. The trip is continuing. Yeah, so again, there's going to be an opening somewhere, or there is like an opening of what? You know, maybe somebody will, they invite you to sing, But I can go to Madrid, which is much more trendy. Yeah? It's not too far.
But does it mean that you feel like an outsider?
Well, I am and I'm not, you know? Like people write about you in newspapers, magazines and stuff that are very active. And once in a while somebody of the village sees it and they go like, shit, man, he's like famous. Because I had that. And I even had one that told me for about 3 weeks in a row, imagine, 3 weeks, going like, you look like a guy that is like actually quite famous. He was in a magazine, man. We really do. But he never associated me that it was me. And I went 3 weeks to the
Because
same place.
it was just so improbable. That
It was
famous guy
impossible.
was to live
Impossible I
there.
would live there. So it was like, and I even went, I had breakfast in that same bar with Jasper Morrison and other designers because they came to visit. And obviously they don't know anything. You know?
What does a guy like Jasper Morrison think of your stuff?
He likes it actually. Yeah.
He doesn't think it's too
No.
baroque.
No, it's not Baroque actually at all. Like, that's a bad word. No, it's not. It's not Baroque. It's actually pretty sophisticated. So I think he shares a lot of the, volumes and yeah, there's a lot of works. He gets near to it, and even some crazy works he likes a lot. But that's something you like doesn't mean you're gonna make it, and maybe he likes the opposite that he's making a little bit sometimes,
Yeah.
But I think we're not so opposed actually. I think we're more near than people think,
And what are the similarities, would you say?
Well, there's a lot of proportions, a lot of material interest, a lot of construction interest. We speak about how things are done. We share thoughts on we like a lot of agricultural things together. He does wine, so he likes to come into my area. Yeah. There's a lot of we're friends, and friends to other colleagues as well that are. But there's a lot of we're all sharing the same sort of interest on trying to find a progression with the industry anyway, and with how things are done. And there's an interesting community of people that are big thinkers on how to make stuff and how to make it relevant. And all the companies. I mean, he works for Vitra, and I work with Fritz Hansen. They're both companies that are very solid, very serious, very standard in their focus. And it's good to have chats about where things go and how they can manifest in the future. I think. Yeah.
I won't ask you about how much of an artist you are or how much of a designer you are. But if I put the question this way instead, what's the easiest, to have a very strict brief or to have no brief at all?
I think a brief is quite important for creativity because it sort of narrows the direction. I mean, one thing is a brief, one thing is the expectations, I would say, I like to talk more about what you expect from things with whoever's commissioning you something. It's like, where do you see yourself with this collaboration? I mean, do you think we should do a switch on your identity because of what I'm gonna make with you, or no, you want something that is more respecting your identity right now? And I have conversations that are beyond the brief. So